Look at the signs all vandalising the actual litter on the street. Plastic bags and tin cans and vandalised signs. Look at the vandalised sign. Look at the tin cans and litter and mess and debris. What's happening with this place? A former unemployment benefit office and former tax office, where the benefits, the legacy benefits, were paid on time and lives were less distressed. It was the former benefit agency, wasn't it, to give out income support, incapacity benefit and disability living allowance for people that were damaged by psychiatry or people that couldn't get jobs. And then there was genuine jobs all those years ago, wasn't there? What was it? There was actually traditional job centres with cards on boards on the wall, on wall boards, cards on a wall that you took off the card off a wall board, walked to the reception desk, handed it to the person at the reception desk, and then they actually phoned up the employer to arrange an interview. That's how it used to be all them years ago, where there was genuine employment, regular wages, and lives were more stable. And now it's just the gig economy, and some types of jobs, 0-hour contracts, just completely not wages aren't regular for some reason. So you see how it used to be, they've just applied brick over existing materials. Look what they've done, they've just coated something that was already there before. Look, it's just something that was already there before that just gets recoated, isn't it? So I wonder how many people are queuing up today. The state of the roadways, actually potholes in the roadways. The tarmac's not exactly pristine though, is it? And then on the opposite side of the road, because they're not delivering post responsible, you then can't park on the opposite, well, they then can't park then afterwards. There's no proper parking positions, there's only a capacity of parking positions, then there's no more positions afterwards. So if they delivered post responsible like numerous postal services for what was 55 years of normal post, then people wouldn't have to start yo-yoing back here time and time again though, would they? Because it's not normal to have to do this. This area of Tameside isn't normal. I mean, look at the state of the brickwork. It's actually, and barbed wire on top of the actual gates with flaking paint. Look at padlocks. The area is just completely incompetent, like a messed up, incompetent, dirty shithole. Look at the housing. Look, all the intercoms have been patched over. How are they supposed to reach people? Look at the houses now. They designed the houses and bars all over. Why do they actually need bars all over the window? What's the sense in that? They've got to live in armoured prisons. Why do they have to live in an armoured prison? So now, there's two people queuing up waiting to be seen by the person behind the back of the counter. And I don't think Andrew Cole, the postal man, he's supposed to be over in Rochdale today because he supposedly goes home at after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Simply because he can't deliver post responsibly for like 55 years. But there seem to be a bunch of lazy numpties, don't they, obviously? Like, well, look at all the phone lines I've actually got. Look, you can see this on the high grade camera. That's 2 on the left, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, at least that's 2 on the left, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 telephone lines. What do they need with 6 telephone lines? What's going on with 6 telephone lines? They supposedly only got 1 telephone number to the building, haven't they? Supposedly CCTV. There is no CCTV. The actual CCTV, there is no CCTV on the brickwork here, is there? Obviously not. Well, look at the state of the brickwork, it's filthy and looks like an incompetent mess. Flaking paint on the railings, and the place has been broken into a few years ago though, hasn't it? So they've had to put an alarm on the door here, simply because the place isn't secure and it's been broken into some time ago. So have they given the people compensation for the post? Or have they sent it over to Belfast to burn it, to give it no compensation?
My mate, I keep telling him, I says, because you look, it looks like an OAP. So when you put it in, if it turns green, it's us. If it's turned orange, and they must look at me like, yeah, he's...
Dear. Prison cell room though, isn't it? The size dimensions of the actual room. Notice the walls on the left hand side, so they can walk out of the door over here. You can't see what's happening at the back of the door, and this seems to be a cupboard door over here. It's not actually a room door though, isn't it? Followed by two speakers actually on the wall. What's the sense of the two speakers? Is that recording the conversation or what? Why would it need two speakers actually on the wall high up? What is that, a microphone or a speaker? I mean, what's that supposed to be? Oh look, we got fans on the ceiling. The fan doesn't dispense any air though, does it? Look, the fan's not dispensing any air to keep the room cool, is it? Certainly not like numerous postal services for 55 years though, is it? Nothing like it in any way whatsoever though, is it? It's a bit of a hot day today, at least I'm slightly sweating, aren't I? A bit of hot day to try and keep all this culture in the face.
It'll be a boxed edition.
Yeah, it is 1,894, that's all they're doing.
Right, you're spending time to talk to the staff and all the
Nice one, fella.
Hello. Is the actual manager goes home at 2 o'clock in the afternoon?
What's up, Gary? Sorry, mate.
Andrew Cole goes home at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Round about 2 o'clock, yeah.
Can I speak to Andrew Cole?
Why? What's it about?
To ask over 2 customer complaint issues.
You've been in the last couple of days, haven't you, Gary?
Yeah, but you've not resolved the issue several days ago. You basically walked the staff. Your staff are walking away, followed by the hatch being shut, and followed by walking away again afterwards.
The hatch is there for our security, Gary.
No, because you're walking away and ignoring the issues.
Well, I'm stood here in front of you. I'll try and help
I've
you.
got the evidence on www.vox-tameside.mobi.
Right, what?
The evidence of this dodgy
Gary,
post office is already on the internet.
Gary, what can I assist you with?
Are you supposed to be a manager?
I'm not supposed to be a manager. No, I'm customer services, Gary. I can help you as much as I
I want
can.
to speak to the manager who controls your staff.
There's nobody here at this moment in time.
So where is Andrew Cole gone to?
He'll be going about his daily business, Gary.
Yeah, but if you're making mistakes, I need to speak to a manager if you're making mistakes.
Right.
If you're prepared to cause distress at a home address, I need to speak to a manager.
What do you mean cause distress, Gary?
You've caused postal distress for no reason for 30-40 years at a home address
I've
where the
only been in
address
this job
where
25,
this
Gary,
dodgy
so
sly postal services has
Right.
caused postal distress for 30-40 years.
Right.
The other issue now is, I'm trying to get the evidence out at least, obviously. You've actually banned post at my home address
We know why.
since
Gary,
the 4th of
we both-
April 2017.
Gary.
There's the evidence.
We both know why you're banned from
Because
getting a delivery because you assaulted a postman.
No, I did not assault a postman. That's a scheming lie. There's the evidence. You banned post for 2 years.
Aware of that. You give me that every time.
Look, you can't prove what you're saying. I can prove that you're a dodgy, sly postal services that is committing human rights violations, and you've also charged £10.92.
Excuse me, I'm sorry to break this up, but I'm in a rush. Can we possibly pick our parcels up? It's for our business, thank you.
But if I'm the customer, I can make a
you.
complaint. I've got a legal right in making a complaint.
I'll give you that back, Gary, because you give us numerous copies of that. There's
Yeah, and that's an expensive scamming phone number where they
it's-
just fob off the complaints.
It's a local rate.
I've been in touch with the Ombudsman for Postal Services, and they're also ignoring the complaints in the way the Financial Ombudsman is also ignoring complaints. We're living in a layered scam society.
It's a local
There's actually a book been written, How Corrupt is Britain, by David White. I suggest you read it, How Corrupt is Britain.
Well, if you go now and take that customer
I need to
service
speak
number,
to a
I'll
manager
get
here
time
to resolve
read
these
that
issues,
book.
and you're going to get a book on How Corrupt is Britain, written by David White.
Right. Could you bring it another time, Gary, because it's getting a little bit busy now.
No, I need to speak to a manager to listen to my complaint.
I told you, there's no managers available at this moment.
Well, where's he gone to? Don't tell me he's gone over to Rochdale again. What's he doing over in Rochdale?
That's not your concern what he's doing.
No,
Gary.
if you're making mistakes, I need to speak to a manager.
Right. Well,
If you're scamming and causing social distress, I need to speak to a manager.
Right, I'll give you customer services.
Yeah, and it's a
there now,
scamming
Gary.
phone line. That's the same as a scamming dodgy complaints ombudsman, isn't it?
Gary,
That's the same as the CQC and the health ombudsman. It's all layered scams though, isn't it? Like a vast stack of layered scams.
Right, I'm going to ask you to leave now, Gary. I'll give you customer services.
Well, I'm not prepared to phone a dodgy, expensive number where the complaints aren't handled.
Right.
You've broken the law. You've broken the law and not delivering post. You've taken £10.92 off me for next day delivery. And there's the evidence there. You've got no signature, no name, no time and date stamp and no address because you're a bunch of lazy numpties in Lazy Town. So there's the evidence you've taken £10.92 on me for next day delivery. That you can't be responsible. And there's your stupid scamming website.
You've wasted all that
doesn't
money.
it?
You've
Yeah,
wasted
yeah, and
all
you're
that
scamming
money.
the customers.
Gary, I'm going to ask you to leave.
Have I got any post as
Gary,
well?
I'm going to ask you to leave.
Have I got any post?
Gary,
Are you
you're
going
not
to rob
getting-
my
no,
post
you're
off
not
me and
getting
burn it
anything.
over in
You're not getting
Belfast?
anything today. I'm going to ask you to leave. or else
But
I'm
where's
gonna-
my post
Gary,
you've got
I'm going to
for
phone
me?
the police if you don't.
Yeah,
leave
and
the
you do
premises.
that and I'll get you reported.
You report
There,
me.
I'm going to report
Right.
you to Crime
You're
Bodge.
upsetting the customers, Gary. Can you leave the premises?
But where's my parcel
Gary,
gone to?
can
Have
you
you
leave-
sent it over to Belfast to burn it like the Chinese parcel?
Gary, I'm going to have to ask
You
you to
sent
leave.
microchips over to Belfast
Gary,
to burn them,
You're
and you're
becoming
giving
fairly
me.
aggressive in
No,
your
You're
I'm
the
not being
aggressive,
and he's
aggressive.
got
I'm
every
allowed
right.
to complain as
No,
customer.
but listen, we run a business and there's a method of complaining.
Yeah,
You don't
they're
come in
ignoring
shouting,
Your
complaints.
attitude's
Well,
disgusting.
it's not.
His
I've got a
nice,
human
we're
right to make a
witnesses to
complaint,
that.
and you shouldn't be interfering in my conversation.
But you're
I've got
not
your
interfering
patience.
in
You're stopping
Yeah,
us
but-
running our
Gary,
business.
Well,
You-
they
you
should have
haven't
passed the
got my
parcel to you,
permission.
but I was first in the queue.
But you're just
You three have
causing
broken the law. You three have broken the law. I've got the evidence.
I'd love to have the time to do all this, what this fella's
There's
doing.
my common law court.
I've got
You've
a life
broken the
to live.
freaking law. I'm a member of the common law court. You three have broken the law because I'm allowed to make a complaint.
He's got a recording
Yeah,
equipment.
phone freaking dodgy sly police up because you've broken the law in scamming my post.
So are we, so are we.
I'm actually located now outside the actual location of /LYNE scammed raw mail postal services, told by two members of the public that I also can't make a complaint. I'm a customer, and if they've made mistakes, I'm allowed to make a complaint to the manager. That's my legal right, and the manager should answer my complaints responsibly. But they've decided to basically refuse to let me speak to the manager, Andrew Cole, because he supposedly goes home at 2 o'clock. So I've got the evidence today, and also these two larger people here have interfered with my conversation for no justified reason and telling me that I can't make a complaint. I'm allowed to make a complaint if something's gone wrong. I've got a public citizen right to do so. And he's just denied me of my parcel. So what's he done? Sent it over to Belfast to burn it. So he wants to phone the police to back up the raw mail scam. What's he going to do? Get in touch with Crime Bodge on www.crimebodge.com. What's he going to do? Get in touch with Crime Bodge. Look, they've actually said to me not months ago when I got detained, they've actually gone and burnt microchips over in Belfast. So they've actually intercepted my post, sent it over to Belfast to burn it without my authorisation, without any compensation. Look, who's this supposed to be? This is actually a perimeter. So if I get inside here, they can swing the gates and lock me inside the prison cell, can't they? Obviously. So how do the slider gates operate? Excuse me, please. Can you come over here? Can you come over here, please? The actual postal manager, Andrew Cole, of here, because he was moved from Hyde over to ASHTON.
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah. Why is he going home at 2 o'clock?
I'm not here at 2 o'clock, so I don't know if he's here or
Well, why
not.
can't he, does he not work proper office hours 9 to 5 to handle complaints?
No, they start early. They start.
Yeah, but
about
why is
6.
this dodgy institution here scamming post off people, sending it over to Belfast to burn it without any compensation. What's going on there?
I don't know, I'm only the cleaner in the morning.
Cleaner,
so,
you don't really know what's going on, do you?
So I
Don't tell me they've got gas working here as well. Don't tell me you're installing Zyklon B on the place. That's a bad idea though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I only clean, so I'm only here a couple hours in the morning.
But I've noticed, I've never known so many devious, sly tricks backed up with threats to call the police after this dodgy postal services has committed devious, sly tricks. They've caused unnecessary postal distress at a home address for 30 years, and then all I did was slam the door into the actual door frame with the post 3 or 4 foot away from the door.
One of the managers.
3 or 4 foot away, and then they've then decided to ban my post for 2 years, even though they've caused incredible distress for 20 or 30 years. With having me yo-yo back here time and time again. We're putting the post in the wrong letterbox cabinet. We're putting the post in an unlocked parcel safe.
I know, I'm only a cleaner.
So they're either incompetent or devious schemers.
I'll have to bring one of the managers, like I said, I can't.
Yeah, well, the worst scenario is, the worst case scenario is they rob my post offering that I paid for and send it over to Belfast and burn it, and then don't give me any compensation. Pardon? Yeah, but you scam my post, you have. Yeah, but you scam my post in an armoured prison and sent it over to Belfast to burn it. You have burnt my post over in Belfast. So what have you got to say for yourself, you scamming schemers? Where's my post gone to? The Scam Royal Mail Postal Services that sends post to Belfast to burn it, to give the customer no compensation, and then threatens to phone the police when the customer makes a complaint. They know that nothing but look at the prison armoured gates. It's a wonder it's not called prisoner cell blockage though, isn't it? In fact, it would make a damn sight more sense that prisoner cell blockage though, wouldn't it? Look, they've got armoured gates actually on the prison, so they can intercept my post that I paid for and then burn it, or I've got to go and, so that they're withholding my post. That is actually illegal. They've broken the freaking law. They've broken, what is it, Article 5's torture, followed by Article 12 is intercepting post. They have intercepted my post for no justified reason, refused to give me my post, and then in the worst case scenario sent it over to Belfast to actually burn it afterwards with no compensation. Then when I make a complaint, they then want to get on the phone then. When I make a complaint after they've burnt my post, they then want to get on the phone to the sly dodgy police afterwards. Look, he's supposed to be senior manager. This is the Ford MA66 CJX, isn't it? And what's he got his side lights on during the day for? You don't need to put your lights on during the day, do you? And so he's actually driving around now in a rather expensive vehicle, isn't he? Well, no wonder they're charging £10.92 for post, aren't they? The following next day post delivery. And he's supposed to be a manager. So that manager has actually walked away from the customer after charging £10.92 for next day post. That has not actually got a signature, a proper name, a time and date stamp followed by the address, because the website is operated by lazy numpties. It's not the same situation as it was years and years ago, is it? And this scamming manager here over here, the worst case scenario is they intercept post, send it over to Belfast to burn it afterwards. That's what they basically do. They're nothing but a bunch of basic schemers, aren't they, obviously? So don't tell me he's going to drive away now and totally ignore all the issues. So he now decides to drive away now, indicate for no reason with the side lights on, and then ignore all the issues afterwards. So you blatantly ignored customer service issues and now you're driving away.
I'm going to phone the police.
But you've broken the law already. I'm a member of the common law court.
I don't
and
care.
You broke. There's my pass for the common law court.
What you are.
You've broken the law. You've
care.
robbed my post and burnt
you
it over
are.
to Belfast,
What
and
you
he's
are.
intercepted my post.
Listen,
I'm a member of the common law court.
Do yourself a
You
favour.
do yourself a favour and stop scamming the public.
Do yourself a favour.
I've reported you already.
Get on medication.
You're a scheming liar. You've
your
harmed me.
iPhone.
You're intercepted my
Right.
post for no
Next
reason.
time you come here, I'm phoning the police and putting you under arrest. Simple as.
Well, you're going to get prosecuted
I
for
don't
breaking
care.
the law.
You can do
You should be delivering by post
Gary,
to the home address.
Gary, you can do what.
You should be living
we
my
don't
post
send-
normal for 55 years like
we
at
don't
numerous
send
postal
post
services.
to people like you that are the scum of the earth.
I am not the scum of the
You
earth. You're a
are.
blatant...
You abuse postmen.
No, I have not abused you. You're a scheming liar. I shouldn't have to go to the door. There's a letterbox cabinet on the wall outside and a parcel
You're
safe.
a bully and you abuse
I have not
people.
abused post people.
You have
There's a
abused
letterbox
people.
cabinet
Gary,
on the wall
Gary,
outside at my
Gary,
home address
Gary, not
and a
talk,
parcel
Gary,
safe. I
Gary.
should not have to go to my home front door.
Gary.
I do not need to go to my home front door when there's a letterbox cabinet on the wall outside and a parcel safe. I do not need to go to my home front door. I do not need to visit this scamming postal services. So now he's driven away now, and he wants to phone the dodgy Sly police up. So he's now driven away now, obviously with all the evidence, in Sly dodgy Tameside, in rubbish dump Sly dodgy Tameside. And I've got him on. It's just come with the scum of the earth. That is blatant abuse.